Okay, I got done making the shape of this cup just a few minutes ago actually, and so my clay is a little bit wet, and so which makes it a little bit difficult to work with to really refine that shape. So I'm going to put this aside for just a little bit, and you'll be amazed to even towards the end of the period, or if it was left in a bag wrapped not too tight overnight, whatever, it will dry out just enough, just a little bit, so that you can really work and refine that shape. Because when it's super soft, it's hard. It is. It's difficult to work with a shape that much. But that's okay. No reason to sit around. Let's go ahead and make the decorations that are going to be put on there. So I'm going to put this sort of off to the side in such a way that we can see it on the video still. There we go. All right. So for this, I'm just not going to need a whole bunch of clay. Even this is probably twice as much as what I'd need really. So go ahead and cut that down there. Here we go. I'll even take the smaller of the two pieces and just gonna start bam, bam, just flattening it down. But as you flatten it, you want to keep turning it over, because you see what will happen is it will start to stick. So I turn that over and turn it over. It's starting to stick a little bit. Maybe if it gets too sticky in a wet spot, then move it over to a drier spot, just like that. Okay. If I wanted to, I could use a roller. I've got these little cardboard tubes. They make fantastic little rolling pins, and that will get it nice and even for you. And I want it really thin, really thin. That's one of the things that I've seen students do with their decoration, is they make it way too clunky, way too sort of kindergarten-ish. All right, so that is pretty darn thin if you look at that. That's okay. It's good clay. It'll hold its strength. Alrighty, so let's see. Probably have what, 1, 2, 3 on this side. So let's say that there's probably maybe about 6 of these leaf shapes overall. And so I want to go ahead and just cut these out. One thing I can use, just my good old pencil. That's why I love these wooden pencils. They're just excellent overall tools. And I'll take this shape right here and use it to my advantage, because I'm always lazy. And look at that. I've already got a shape right there. I could do the same thing over here. Look at that. I've got 2 leaves already. Now, if you didn't have a pencil, I don't know why you wouldn't in an art class, but let's say you had something like this tool right here. Don't use this tool on my tables. This is for carving. It's only for carving. Do not use it on the tables. Let's say you had a wooden tool. Wooden tool could work okay, but the problem with the wooden tool is it's going to be kind of clunky. It's not as sharp as, let's say, that pencil is. All right, well, what about one of these butter knives? You see these butter knives around. This could be an okay tool, but with the butter knives, be careful. So you're thinking of it as a butter knife, and you're thinking, well, it's not that sharp. But wait a minute. On the knife edge, it has a little bit of serration, a little bit of a cutting surface. So we don't want to cut with that edge against my tables. Okay, these tables have been especially prepared for you. I made them myself. I paid for them myself. So it was about 3 weeks worth of work and about $2,000 to put all these tables together for you guys. Please take care of them. I don't want to have to resurface them anytime soon. But we want this surface. This surface is wonderful because notice the way that this is not sticking to the table. If this was a smooth, flat surface, like your desks, in your other classes, those are actually Formica. They're super hard, those desks, right? But they're super smooth. They have no porous texture to them at all, and the clay sticks like nobody's business. That's why we've got these cloth tables with the canvas on it. Anyways, yeah, so don't, but you can cut into that cloth. You can scratch it with that leading edge. So if you were to use a knife, then you'd want to go ahead and use the back end of it. That's okay. That won't necessarily hurt my table. Okay, but I find that this pencil is actually the nicest tool for drawing things out. I guess we can use that. Why not? Okay, and so as you'll see, I'm making these leaves about the same size as what I had made them on my drawing. It's not necessarily that my drawing's perfectly to scale, but it should give me some rough idea. Okay, so we've got that, and maybe a few more. Once again, I'm doing it on the edge because I'm lazy. I've already got that cut. Maybe another one over here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 already. That's how many I said I need. Here, let's give me 7 and even 8, just in case. Doesn't hurt. All right, that's as easy as it is to make a leaf shape. This pencil sharp works okay for cutting these out because it is just clay after all. But here's where, yeah, maybe the butter knife would work better. Okay, remember the back of the knife. There we go. And never, ever, 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 never, under great penalty of great pain, use a carving tool on these desks because it will cut that. It will scratch it. Do not. Okay. Even though it's tempting. Seems like the right tool, right? Okay. Okay, so I've got all these. And this might be scratch, or I might use this in making the flowers. I'm not sure just yet, but I'm going to just put that aside. Okay, so the leaves, I'll just clean those up a little bit. Kind of just soften the edge a little bit. I don't want to pinch hard, you know. I don't want to really flatten that out. Just round it a little bit. Just make it a little bit nicer. And I'm not going to worry about putting the detail, the veins in the leaves just yet. I'll do that once it's on. All right, so let's say that you're working away and then the bell rings or it's time for cleanup, whatever. And so you want to preserve what you've been working on, right? Well, think about it for a second. You can't put paper in between these leaves because the paper might absorb the moisture out of the leaves and just turn to a bunch of mush on your leaves. That's not good. And you don't want to just stack the leaves like that because they could very well just mush back into a solid piece of clay as well. So I've got some plastic that you can just cut a little bit of plastic, maybe the size and shape that you need, and then you can just wrap it in the plastic and then put it in the bag. So here I've got just a little strip of plastic that I've cut. So I can go here, and here would be for one leaf, another leaf, being very gentle, so forth, and so on. I might even take these then and put them inside my cup, like so. Right, so I've got that. I've got my cup. Let's place it inside maybe, wrapping it in my bag. There they are. They're nice and protected. Okay, but let's move on. So we've got that, and we've got our cup, and it's still pretty wet. Now it needs to be moist enough to place the leaves on, But yet, before we put decoration on the outside, we want to make sure that the shape is perfect, just how we want it. So I'm not going to do it just yet. I'd put that aside. I'd work on something else for a little bit longer. Maybe come back the next day, whatever, until that was truly ready. Maybe I could be making the handle for that. Okay, so I've got another little hunk of clay right here. So to make the handle, I'm going to go ahead, just start squeezing it into the shape that I'm after. And the thing about handles is that, generally speaking, students tend to make them too thin. Okay, so see that clay turned into kind of a lot. It's way too much, so I'm going to get rid of some of it. Alrighty, so from here I might start rolling it out. So notice my fingers are displayed, and I let the clay have more than one roll to it. Okay. Careful to make it to roll more at the ends here, so that those come tight. Otherwise, you're going to get cylinders out of here. It's going to start going in. Okay. Okay. So I might leave this as just a nice, just nice and round, or I might square it off a little bit. I think that this would be nice. Square it off a little bit, but with soft edges. And a little bit pregnant there in the middle. Okay, there we go. Okay, nice and consistent then. Good enough at least. Shaping that. Okay, making it nice and smooth. Filling in any cracks. Notice I haven't used any water yet. I don't want to weaken the handle, even when I'm smoothing it out here. Okay. And so let's see. What do we want? One shape kind of bunched up, and the other shape kind of out. Okay, looking at my drawing here, remember I'm going off the plan, so I want it to look something like it. Okay. I'm just getting a little bit of water on the knife because that will help to lubricate it. And remember, when I cut, don't cut with the leading edge. I don't want you to cut my tables there. Actually, if you think about it, they are our tables. We want them nice for us to work on. Alrighty. So we've got that. And curl that up a bit so it has that extra little bit right there, giving it just a little bit of flair. Okay, and I've worked without really checking against my cup. That was kind of a no-no, but I think it's going to be close to the right size, right? Oh, close, but not really. So unless that cup grows by magic, I'm going to have to make that a little bit smaller. That's okay. How's that? Yeah, I think that's definitely getting there. Okay. All right. Well, my cup is still a little bit too moist to really, really refine this shape with. So I'm going to close it out for now, let things dry just a little bit, not too much, and then I'll shape that and I'll start attaching all my various decorations to my cup.